other night, Sidney Crosby scored the first of his 2 goals by dropping to his left knee to finish off a gorgeous rocket of a pass from Ricard Raquel. Sid drops to that knee a lot, and he does it from various shooting angles for various reasons. But is it really his defining characteristic? Good morning to you. Good Thursday morning. I'm Dejan Kovacevic of DK Pittsburgh Sports. This is Daily Shot of Penguins. It comes your way bright and early every weekday. If you're into football and or baseball, I also offer daily shots of Steelers and Pirates in the same place that you found this. The Penguins continue their homestand tonight at PPG Paints Arena with a 7:08 p.m. face-off against the Blues. They'll be looking to extend a modest winning streak to 3, a slightly longer, if less tangible streak of playing good hockey to at least a handful. Played well, I thought, in all 3 of the games on the recently completed trip out west. And a huge part of the reason for that is that the captain was, the captain's really gone right now. It's not just the goals, although he has 4 in the past 2 games. It's everything that he's doing all over the rink. He had a rush Tuesday night against the Golden Knights that was just breathtaking. It was Mario-like. He tried at the end a backhand pass across to Brian Rust that Rust really, in fairness, never had a chance to finish. But my goodness, if that had connected, they'd be making roof repairs these past 48 hours. But that first goal, that's the one I want to talk about, because it wasn't the usual Sid goes down to one knee kind of goal. This was Sid accepting a pass, and again, a pass that he knew was going to have to be a hard one to get through the Golden Knights slot there. So what he does, he doesn't just plant his blade as most players would and, kind of hope that it connects. He puts his whole body down. One way or another, he's going to stop that puck. He's going to have it be around him, in front of him in some form. And if he has to just smack it in, then that's what he'll do. But Sid being Sid and the pass being what it was, instead he just redirects it beautifully, elevates it a little bit. Ilya Samsonov, of course, has absolutely no chance at it. And then the result is what it tends to be based on what I see here and read from fandom. Sid scored a statue goal. That's now a statue goal. This isn't me coming up with that term. This is something that I've looked around and picked up on, and it's kind of gaining steam, the whole statue goal. That's going to be the statue, everyone says. Whereas the Mario statue was him splitting those 2 poor Islanders who are immortalized out there forever. Their names, by the way, they were actual Islanders, Rich Pilon and Jeff Norton, both of whom have spoken about being part of that statue and both of whom have expressed pride. I mean, they played in the NHL. They had real live careers at the highest level, and it's something they can show to their kids, because it's not like, if you ever walk the whole way around the statue, it's not like they just show their rear ends. If you go to the other side of the statue, you see that they actually have faces as well. But the Sid statue begs the question, what is the way in which he is most commonly thought of? And I could probably come up with 3 answers to that. One would be the other term that always gets associated with him, and that's winner or serial winner, because of all the trophies and championships that he's won and the gold medal. And then you can, I think, be a little bit lazy about this and say, well, just do Sid holding the Stanley Cup. I'm not crazy about that, because the first captain to raise the cup is the one who's already got a statue. And if you think about the Penguins winning 5 of these things and all of the various contributors, it's kind of hard to just say, let one guy hold the cup. Another Sid thing that I think about is his goal against the Islanders. Now, if I say that and you don't know what I'm referencing, that likely means that you weren't following the team when Sid came back from his concussion that legitimately threatened his career in his first game back at PPG Paints Arena. It was a regular season game. It was also against the Islanders. He came flying down the right side, and I mean flying, and he whipped a long-range backhander upstairs, top shelf, and he spun around in the right corner and yelled out 2 words very visibly following his lips. One of them was a bad word, and the second one was yeah. That goal, most often referred to as the blank yeah goal as a result. Statue? Let's leave the Islanders out of it. It's going to be something on one knee, because the only other thing that you could bring into it is his penchant for backhanders. Now, it's not easy to score on the backhand from one knee, so it's going to be one or the other, and my guess is it's the knee because it's got the most original body language look to it. It's a figure that even if you only saw it as a silhouette, and nobody told you who it was and you were looking from some sort of distance, you'd know it's Sid. So yeah, I'll go with the knee. I'll go with the statue. But I'm telling you, I also would not be offended if it were found somehow, some way to incorporate the backhand. Meaning as an alternative, of course. When we come back, J1Q. This episode is brought to you by Bet Online, your number one source for all your summer sports needs this season, from Major League Baseball, golf, NHL, NBA playoffs. Get the latest odds and lines, including all team matchups, player props, odds on just about everything that's out there. Head to the website today or use your mobile device to get in on the action. Bet Online, where the game starts. Today's J1Q comes from Josh. Says, DK, Kyle Dubas has made it clear that he wants to get younger, established players. You think it's possible that we see him go the way of the offer sheet this summer? If you do, are there any players you could see him targeting? For anybody who doesn't know what Josh is asking about, if you're a restricted free agent in the NHL, you have virtually no chance of testing anything remotely resembling an open market. The reason for that, it's really easy for teams to tender that player and to make sure they don't lose them. If a team decides to go and pursue such a player from another team, and it has happened, it's not common at all, it's going to cost a lot. It's probably going to involve a ton of upfront cash, in large part because you want to make it tough for the team that's tendered him to keep him. The Predators once famously had to go to a Nashville bank to take out a loan to keep Shea Weber when the Flyers made an offer sheet like that. Like really, they went to a bank and took $18 million out to keep Weber. For the most part, this has been really frowned upon for a really long time, to the point that the union has, and fairly in my mind, accused the owners of collusion on this. Like, really? Have you just all agreed not to do this to each other? But we've seen it since. We've seen, most notably, the Hurricanes and Canadiens going at each other back and forth, trying this with alternate attempts. Now, you ask me if I'd like to see Dubas doing that. No. I would love to see Dubas doing that. I would love to see Dubas taking the cap space that he's collected, which is now well over $20 million, and go on the prowl. Find somebody, anybody who fits the mold that you're thinking of, that I'm thinking of, who's in that young age range. And whenever we're talking about RFAs, we're talking about players who are still in their early 20s. Because entry-level contracts in the NHL are only 3 years long. And from there, you go get them. And ideally, you do it inside the division. Because even if you don't get the player, you're going to make life hell for somebody else in the Metro for at least a couple of weeks. Or longer, depending on what kind of longer-term damage you can do to their cap situation. Now, you're asking me for players and so forth. I'm not really into that sort of thing, just hypothetical names and everything, and I have not looked over any RFA list for the coming summer, but it is absolutely an avenue the Penguins can and should pursue. Great question, my man. I appreciate you. I appreciate everybody listening to Daily Shot of Penguins. We'll do another one of these tomorrow.